Matt, the mortgage guy. Pay off that USDA loan, pay off some debts, and that's what the cash out was going to be used for, some debt consolidation, straighten things out with their finances. So come to us, we get the USDA loan statement, we start the file, we realize that they've got their original principal balance, and then they've got also a $28,000 subsidy that is due to USDA when they had been through some financial difficulties 10 or 12 years ago. USDA allowed them to skip payments, and USDA was going to recoup that later. So they had, I don't know how many payments it was 18 payments, and that totaled $28,000. USDA had that in a separate account and said, if you refinance or pay off this loan, you're gonna pay us back. So long story short, here we are, 2018 at the time, and they were gonna pay off this loan. They were gonna refinance. And so when you order a payoff on a loan like that, you've got the principal amount plus that subsidy, pay them both off, cash out to the client, new loan amount, and we were good to go. Everything looked good. And even on that $28,000, USDA said, if you pay it all off to us at once, we'll give you a 25% discount. You only owe us $21,000. So great. More cash in the client's pocket. They can pay off debt, consolidate, some of the things they had out there, and everything was on track. We signed the loan. When you sign a refinance, you have a 3-day right of rescission before the loan funds. You have the right to cancel. If you change your mind, things don't look good, you say I cancel and you're out. So they signed the loan. 3 days later, we're gonna fund when that right of rescission is up. We're on day 2 of their right to cancel, the rescission period. And they call me and they say, hey Matt, I just walked through an open house 2 doors down from my house, and I was talking to a realtor. As I brought up my scenario about the refinance I'm doing on my house, realtor said, oh, I had a USDA client and they had a similar loan, similar balance that had to be paid off. They were able to negotiate that with USDA. They didn't hardly have to pay anything. So of course my client gets excited. Of course they want to do the same. And the realtor goes, I'll help you. I will, make sure, because my client did it. So for sure you can do it. Who cares that it was 10 years ago my client did it? I think you can still do it. So the client calls me, and I always want the client to feel good about any transaction they do with us. I want them to make the decision that benefits them the most. So when they call me, I say, that's awesome if it's possible, but let's do some research and let's keep in mind mortgage changes a lot, and you may or may not be able to still do this. If you could, I think I would have heard about it. I think that my team during the process of putting this thing together would have uncovered that, but let's look anyway. We've only got a day before this thing is going to fund, and we can still cancel, so let's do that. So I look into it. USDA used to have a rule where if the house depreciated a certain amount, they would forgive a certain amount of this. Well, the last 10 years, the house has doubled in value. So we're definitely not going with the thing has depreciated in value. We've doubled in value since this was put on there. So that's not going to work. Long story short, we look into it thoroughly. They're not going to be able to have it forgiven or reduced like this realtor's past client had. And so I advise them, this is a great loan. We've already talked about how much this is going to benefit you by consolidating some debt. So my advice is move forward. The client says, I don't know, I really want to give this a try. If there's some chance that I don't have to pay this back, that would be great. It would be even more money. And I knew from the tone and everything, this client was gonna regret if they didn't at least give it a try. So I said, listen, if that's what you wanna do, you go ahead and do that. Just be forewarned, we have looked into this and we've vetted it. And I don't think it's possible. And I'm happy to do the refinance for you if you wanna do it after this falls through. But we've got a good loan set up, and I think that if it was me, I would move forward, but I want to respect you and your decision of whatever you want to do. So of course the client wants to give it a shot. As you all would guess, 2 months later, things have changed. Well, what do you know? Things change in mortgage. It's been 10 friggin' years. Of course they changed. Couldn't get it forgiven. Now here's the kicker. The client's co-borrower, husband, was changing jobs. He was going from a W-2 employee to self-employed. So not only did they not be able to reduce this USDA subsidy, but now they weren't sure if they're gonna be able to qualify for the loan at all. And this loan, when you talk about a great loan, reducing the interest rate 1.5 points, taking cash out to consolidate a bunch of high interest credit card debt, this loan was really gonna help their financial situation immensely. And so the lesson here is that even with good intentions, people might give you advice based on something that may have been true in 2009 or 2010, when this person had a client who was able to do something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's true today. And I get this quite a lot, where it's my cousin's brother's sister's mom did this one thing one time 7 years ago. Well, real estate